Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about the alpha, specifically just basically giving you the lowdown on what's going on, why it's been delayed, and maybe we'll just get into some theory-ish things later on in the video, but essentially I just reckon that it would be good to do a video just to notify people what's going on, because on the channel you saw my look at the Alliance garrisons back there over the weekend, but you haven't seen anything since, and that might be a bit confusing, so I'm going to go through a little bit of a timeline of things. It started off on Friday, and on Friday it was pretty good, you know, I think it was about 12 PM, 12 midnight, and then the alpha came up. That was fantastic. We got into the alpha. There was a problem with launching the game though, and you had to launch it directly using the 64-bit EXE, so that was fine. Everyone got in. And then there was a progression halting bug that I think at least some people encountered in the garrison. We then saw a post from Zarhim saying, hey, we have to take the alpha down for maintenance, and we need to make a new build, essentially. So that was fine. Then Monday rolled along, and their tentative plan was to have it going for Monday. And of course, I said on Twitter, and I said at the end, or at the start, or whatever, of Monday's Q&A, hey, there'll be alpha stuff tonight. But we got a post that night saying that there will be no alpha until Tuesday. And then Tuesday rolled along, and we ended up getting a post from Zarhim saying a few things. So first of all, he said that the alpha is going to happen, but he did not give a date. Now that means that they're probably not scheduling it for tonight, maybe they're not even scheduling it for Thursday, but when the alpha does come up, it's going to have some additional things. We'll have the whole Shadowmoon Valley, but they're also going to integrate the starting experience in the Tanan jungle. If you don't know what that is, by the way, Warlords of Draenor basically starts off with us storming through the Dark Portal in some sort of suicide mission that will probably be far less cool than the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2, but hey, it'll probably still be fun. Bit of a false equivalency. Anyway, so we do our suicide mission, and then we crash land in either Shadowmoon or Frostfire, and they're basically just baking that experience in now. So that is why the alpha seems to be delayed. One thing, though, that I want to talk about, because this video is not just an update, it's also speculation, is the time frame for the alpha. So one thing that we do know is that they plan on breaking out level 100 servers so that they can accelerate the PvP testing process. A while ago, I think it was Helinka actually said that PvP testing historically has been left a little bit too late because they had to wait until everyone got to level 100 and all that stuff in their beta tests. Well, they're planning on making a level 100 server for testing PvP and the level 100 talents and all that, so that stuff should be pretty cool. Now, another thing about the alpha is it seems like most of the issues that we've been having at the minute are to do with garrisons. Just to be frank, I think the reason why Frostfire Rage and Shadowmoon Valley were 3 weeks apart was indeed garrisons. They were still doing garrison work and sort of ingraining quests into them, and I'd imagine that because of that, Shadowmoon Valley just was a bit delayed, and then there were some bugs with the garrison. Now, the rest of the zones are not as heavily integrated with garrisons, and hopefully they already have that tech working, so when the time comes in maybe a week or two, they should be able to release quite a few zones in just a far quicker pace than at the minute, because, look, a zone every month ain't gonna work, Blizzard. Okay, every 3 weeks, let's be fair to them. A zone every three weeks is just going to fail, utterly. So I'd say we need to be testing endgame stuff by the end of July. Hell, I'd say even midway through July, we should be on to endgame, because that is where we really need to test to make sure that this expansion, like, you know, comes out with a really robust and balanced endgame. The the kind of people who are alpha testing have got no problem with just grinding to level 100 on like 5 characters. You know, that's the whole point of being in the alpha, is that, okay, A, you bring an audience, but B, generally, if you are a Warcraft YouTuber or streamer, it probably means you're okay with playing the game 10 hours a day to level through content, test things, and find cool shit, or find broken stuff. So they should, I just really think, try to accelerate this process a little bit. If we're going to be hitting a September release, then they just need to get testing quick. Now, someone actually made a comment that apparently September is still the summer. I was not aware of that. Apparently that's a thing. September is officially in the summer, which would peg the expansion for a November release. Not sure about that. I'm definitely going to do a video sometime just speculating about release dates, but really for now I just want to talk about the alpha in this one. Then as for the actual alpha itself, well, one thing that's I think maybe worrying some people and confusing some others and is just a little bit strange is that there are a lot of zones in it that are unfinished. Now, my personal hunch is that the reason why, say, if I were to look in Nagrand in the alpha, why it would look like, you know, sort of untextured, unfinished, is because they just haven't pushed the most recent version of Nagrand onto the alpha because they're not testing it yet, and they're trying to sort of compartmentalize their testing phases or something like that. Though, if some of those zones are really not, like, in that great a state, then I'm very confused, because what have they been doing for the last few months? They have not had the whole team of like 180 people working in garrisons. I know that for sure. I'd imagine that all the quests are done at this stage. They would have to be. They would really have to be, and it's just a matter of Blizzard slowly trying to make us go through one zone at a time intensively to crush any bugs that are specific to that zone, I suppose. It's weird, isn't it? It really is strange. I just think they should be moving us through this a bit quicker. Their usual, maybe 5-month alpha cycle, or maybe it's 4 months, I don't know, whatever it has been historically, is just gonna put this expansion at a pretty late release date, and I think that Blizzard should be trying to mitigate that by speeding the alpha and beta process up, but just trying to still ensure that it is intensive. I think moves like, say, the level 100 server are great because it means you can get more testing done. And if they could do a similar thing for raids, that would be cool. I think they actually plan on, like, if they're planning, I don't know, a test raid night, then they will, in that zone, scale everyone's gear up and level, so no matter what level you are, you can just jump in and test the raid. So I think that because of things like that, the testing should get faster. I think that because garrisons are really just, like, they're mainly a Shadow Moon Valley and Frostfire Ridge thing, well, because of that, maybe the other zones are not going to take as long to release. And maybe actually one of the problems is their new outpost system. Well, I say new, but I don't know how new this actual design is. If you don't know what the outposts are, basically when you're running around Draenor, in the zones that are not Shadow Moon and Frostfire, you have these little outposts for your garrison, which allow you to, you know, do your garrison quests and get a buff and all those various things. I don't know how new they are, and perhaps the implementation of them is sort of lagging Blizzard behind a little bit, but I'd imagine that once that stuff is finished, they're just going to be ready to go. And I wouldn't actually mind it if they would just release 2 zones at once, 2 zones at a time or something like that, after Shadow Moon, because we really need to get through the testing. It's almost been a month through the process, and it started on the 4th of June, the 4th of July is obviously quite close to now, and like, only one zone's been tested. Come on, guys. We really want you to test your game well, and we also want to test it in a prompt time because you've already ballsed up the release date enough. We don't need alpha problems to sort of screw that back anymore. Though, honestly, I'd imagine that a 2 or 3 week alpha delay would not affect their own stuff. Chances are they just have some sort of QA team working in this. I mean, if we're frank, the employee alpha testing pool at Blizzard is probably very big, because I think people in every single team are allowed in. Like every team in Blizzard. So, actually, would that not put it at there being, at least maybe before the most recent wave, there being more alpha testers in Blizzard than outside? I'm not 100% sure, but the alpha definitely to some degree is a strong marketing tool, and I think that if they are treating it as a marketing tool, then they're kind of messing it up, because people don't want to watch Frostfire Ridge for a month straight. And of course, because the alpha's down, I can't bring you Frostfire Ridge to watch for a month straight. So it's just funny how it's all worked out. Hopefully by, say, Thursday, things will be better. And the reason I say Thursday is because all my new computer parts are arriving on Thursday. And I'm, in a small way, a little bit glad that the alpha was delayed, because the day the alpha was supposed to come back is when all my computer things died, and the night that it's supposed, or at least that I think it'll come back, is going to be the night after I build my computer, which would be very cool. So lots of fun stuff there. we'll just have to wait and see, but I thought it was worth talking about the alpha. Not everyone follows Blizzard on Twitter, and not everyone reads blue trackers every day, so I'd imagine that it must get confusing, seeing even just streamers and people say, hey, I'm going to do the alpha tonight, and then there's no alpha that night, or me saying, hey, alpha videos are coming, and then no videos are coming. I just feel like I owe you guys an explanation as to just what the hell's going on. Basically, I don't know what the hell's going on either, so we're all screwed. Anyway, with that stunning realization, I'm going to end the video. There'll be more game-related things after, rather than just me talking about Blizzard's testing process. So yes, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.